Welcome back. It's the Flow Friday Sports Show on Flow FM, and we're looking at Gawler and Districts Softball now, and the league president, Sarah McMillan, joins me on the line. Great to be speaking with you again, Sarah. How are you after another big weekend of softball?
Good afternoon. Great to be here, and it's been a big week for me, but it was a really good weekend last weekend, and excited to get into this weekend.
Ready to do it all again. Well, let's rewind and let's start off with the big headline in Div 1. Two Wells got their first win of the season, and what a win. 9-2 over the Blue Jays. They won in style.
Yes, it was a great game. It did not feel like a 9-2 win, though. It felt like a 5-4 win, but very close game. But Two Wells getting a couple of runs in more each innings, and it was just a great win. It was great to feel fielding and getting the outs and then getting the runs on the board, which is just a great feeling. And Blue Jays did their part. They hit a massive home run to Andrea McInerney, and she just sped around the diamond. There was no easy feat for her. She bolted around the diamond and just made it in before the ball come in. But it's good to see on both sides. And everybody, Blue Jays were a little bit short on players, and so are Two Wells. But the people who lifted stepped up and stepped into the positions. They played great as well.
All right, very good stuff. Massive result there for Two Wells, and a big turnaround from their last few games. They've played 3 times this year. 12-5 the first time they met, then 7-5, and then 8-3, and then also a forfeit. So Blue Jays have been all over them this year, and Two Wells have been closing the gap, and it's great to see them get their first win on the board for the year, and hopefully there's another one to come soon. So well done to all the Two Wells players. And the score was 9-2, just as it was in the other game in Div 1. So a funny little bit of symmetry there. The Kangas beat the Vikings 9-2 as well.
A little bit of a different game, and Kangas got on the board early with following from errors from Vikings, and then holding them tight. Like Kangas held on to Vikings, and they didn't get much in. And then the second innings, everybody was really holding tight. And then Kangas coming back strong and picking up the runs in the last couple of innings. Yeah, it would have felt like a long game to hang on to them so tight the whole time. Everybody's keeping switched on from losing a couple in their first innings, and you've just got to keep switched on and hold on to it.
It's an interesting little rivalry between these two. The Vikings, the first time they met, beat them 16-2, and then the Vikings won 7-3, and then the Kangas won 12-2, and then the Kangas 8-7. So the results have been all over the shop, and with the Kangas winning this one 9-2, we've got another sort of all over the shop result. So it'll be interesting if they play off in a final. I don't think we've got any bearing really on who you'd be picking the next time they play, but a very good slate of games over the weekend in the Div 1. So let's have a look now at the upcoming games, and Two Wells trying to keep the momentum going and getting another win on the board. They're taking on the Vikings.
This will be a tough game, but I don't seem to be tough games when you're trying to get that win in. So, I think we are holding on to our win from last week, and I think we're on the up. I think it should be a strong game, and we're going to go for the win.
Back the team in, love to see it, and it is the Kangas taking on the Blue Jays as well, and they've had really, really tight games all year. They played out in a draw the first time they met, and then it was only 1 run between them, and last time they played 3 runs between them. So really, really good season series going on here. Who do you think will claim this one?
Oh, like I said, it is a really tough call to say. Blue Jays losing last week might pull out all the guns to make sure they get this win in this week. Kangas, I feel they're on a bit of a run, building to the finals, and I think Kangas might take this one.
All right, well, there the tip is in for the Kangas. I don't allow fence sitting on the Flow Friday Sports Show. We've got to get a tip in, so it is in for the Kangas.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the Div 2s now, and some high-scoring games on the weekend in the 2s. It was the Vikings over the Giants, 10-6 to kick things off.
Yes, getting big hits in, like the pitching's getting stronger, so the hits are getting stronger. Yeah, they're getting a little bit further around the diamond on the hit, and yeah, they are, all of them coming together and just showing some good softball. So the fielding's strong, but they're the bigger hits, so they've got to field it and get it in from a lot further out.
In our other game, even higher scoring, and 2L's not able to get the win in this one like the Div 1s did, but nevertheless, 14-9 going down to the Kangas, a very, very good effort. Their last two games against the Kangas were a 12-0 loss and a 12-3 loss, so they're certainly closing the gap just like the Div 1s as the season's going on. And what got into the hitters in this one? I mean, 23 runs in a game is just ridiculous.
Yes, you had a couple of home runs in there and a couple of big hits to bring home 2 or 3 runs at a time. So it was really good to see. At the 2Wells game, it was a great vibe to be sitting on the bench to watch that. Yes, they did lose the game, but they got 9 runs in, and the whole entire game they were on top of things. But the fielding, they were on point. They were getting their outs, and the batting, Sebastian Ferrugia, he got a home run, and it was just massive. And just to see him get it, the look on his face when he hit that ball, it must have felt so sweet on the bat. You can see the smile on his face all the way around the diamond.
Well, let's have a look forward to this week in the Div 2s, and 2Wells on the bye, so they won't be able to carry that momentum into this week as they keep searching for a win. But 2 good games nevertheless. We've got the Kangas taking on the Vikings and the Giants taking on the Blue Jays. So a big schedule this week in the Div 2s.
Yes, it should all be good games again. They all seem to be pretty much on par, these 2 games, but it would be hard to pick them. But like you said, I'm not allowed to fence there.
No fence sitting allowed.
So I reckon Vikings might get up in the Kangas and Vikings game. Be a close one. I'm hoping for a close one, and I reckon it might be a low-scoring game with the tight in the field. And the other game, I'm going to go with the Giants over Blue Jays.
And that Kangas v Vikings, that's a top-of-the-table clash, 1v2, and the Vikings could just about take top spot if they win by enough. So very interesting things going on there in the Div 2s. And in the juniors, it was a couple of scratch matches on the weekend, and we're back into our regular programming this week, and we're kicking it off with the Giants taking on Trinity College. Well, we're not kicking it off. It's the only game in the under-17s. But yes, Giants taking on Trinity College, and they haven't actually managed to get a game in against each other yet this year. There's been bad weather and there's been forfeits, but let's hope they get on the park this weekend.
Yes, it'd be great to see a game happen this weekend and see how they actually flow in a game, because I know they have played a couple of scratch matches and I've seen them play against each other and they do great. But yeah, in a game situation there is that slight difference. Even if you feel like a game in a scratch match, the real thing is you never know what's going to come out of it. So they're getting really good at the fielding and the batting, so we'll see how the game plays out.
And lucky last, but certainly not least, in the under-14s, it is the Giants taking on Trinity College. So it's a big weekend ahead in Gawler and Districts Softball. Sarah, the association president, thank you very much for coming and giving us another update. Enjoy all the action this weekend. Good luck to you and everyone else who's going to be playing. Hopefully another couple of wins for 2Wells. Hopefully the 2s can get on the board for their first win. And Sarah, we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you very much. It's going to be a great weekend. See you out in the diamond.